my name is Erica Lucas. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 habits that have changed my life over the last 6 months of minimalism. They have made me happier. The first one is a habit change from being a spender to a saver. I was never really a very good saver. Basically, I used to save to spend on something. So that's how I operated. And my MO before minimalism was to use a credit card or overextend us. That has been a revolutionary change for our family. Now I think about money so differently. I think about having money in the bank. I think about having money set aside for emergencies. I think about having money to do things with my family. I don't think about what am I gonna buy. I don't think that way anymore. And now when we need something, I question how much we actually need it. And do I have an alternative? Is there something I can repurpose for what we need? And that's when I spend money, when I know there isn't an alternative. Otherwise, money's being sent to the credit card or being put into a savings account. And then it's a completely different way of thinking. It has changed my life. It has changed the life for my family. It's sad that it took me to the age of 43 to figure that out, but here I am. We're now focused on retirement. We're focused on 529s for the kids. We're focusing on being debt free. We're focusing on paying off the mortgage. We're focused on having money in the bank. I am not focused on what's in my Amazon cart or what sales are going on at Target. That's the relationship I want to have with money, where I am in power and I am making the financial decisions. My husband is making the financial decisions. The credit card companies are not making it for us. So it's just a different perspective. It's just a different way of life. So that's habit change number 1. Habit change number 2 is allowing space for grace. It is a phrase that I've adopted for myself over the last 6 months as I decluttered mostly our whole house. I had to allow space for forgiveness for myself. I had to allow space for the financial guilt to do its job and then disappear and be let go of. I had to allow space for grace for myself, to forgive myself for all the spending, to allow my husband to forgive me for all the spending. And he would extend me any forgiveness I asked for, but he said I didn't need forgiveness from him. He is incredible through our 9 years of marriage. Actually, this right here, this pottery was a gift just this month from my husband for our 9-year anniversary, 9 years pottery, and he got me that. And I love it. It is a representation of 9 years of marriage. That to me is not clutter. That to me is a symbol of the endurance and the longevity and everything we've been through for 9 years. So allowing space for grace, for guilt of getting rid of things that were gifted to us, of spending money that we didn't need to spend. I had to allow space for grace in our budget. Yes, we're facing a mountain of debt, but I gotta have a break. I gotta have a pizza night. Number 3, me. Number 3 is me. Okay, I prioritize me in a way that I have not prioritized myself in a long time. And I'm not talking about getting mani-pedis, getting haircuts. I'm not talking about that side of taking care of, that side of self-care. I am talking about prioritizing what I want. I love making videos for this YouTube channel. I love the community that we have here. I enjoy all of the emails and the instant messages and the comments. I enjoy all of them. You guys are so supportive, and I love getting an email from someone that tells me their story and how I inspired them to do something. And that for me is just life-changing. This is a journey I'm on this channel, where I'm sharing a whole house declutter and other things and minimalism, where it's changing my life. Before minimalism, I was always focused on other things or perception or what I thought I should be doing. I wasn't focused on what I loved doing. And I love building new things onto my website to give to you guys that you ask for. I genuinely enjoy that. My mom to come watch the kids, well, not right now because of social isolation, but before, she would watch the kids, and I would go to a coffee shop for 3 hours and I would write, and I would enjoy the YouTube comments and converse with you guys online. And that time to me is so precious. I genuinely enjoy it. It has become a part of who I am, and it has changed my life. Number 4 is learning to say no. Learning to say no is a hurdle for many of us. It is still a hurdle for me. I still have to really work at saying no when I mean no. And it applies to a lot of facets in my life. My kids, I'm tired. I'm a 44-year-old mom of 3 little kids, and messes aren't really bugging me. When it's my mess on the kitchen counter, that annoys me. But when it's the kids making an art mess, it really doesn't bother me. And yes, they get in trouble for writing on the walls. I don't know, I just didn't say no and enforce it with my kids as much as I absolutely should have. And now I do that more. I also say no and establish boundaries when I feel like the family of 5 that we have needs to be in a bubble. And we ebb and flow. We're a Navy family, so we ebb and flow out of each other's schedules quite a bit. And when we have those precious moments back together and that reintegration back together, and we've had it dozens of times, and I'm talking about before kids and with kids, I have learned that the time my husband has with the kids supersedes everything. And I learned to say no to things. I learned to say no to sports for a couple of weeks. I learned to say no to co-ops. I learned to say no to family, which is hard. I don't like saying no to family, but I do like saying yes to my bubble and my family. And I have learned the power of saying no in so many ways, like no spending. Okay, yeah, in the beginning I was like, wait, I can't spend? Curbing my overspending habit was definitely something I had to come to grips with, and took me months. It was not easy, but it was not natural. It was not easy. But once I started decluttering and I started to define minimalism for myself and for my family, no spending was a fit. They went together like peanut butter and jelly. Learning to say no and establishing boundaries for my time, my husband's time, and my children's time was something that just came to us. I didn't even know that I needed to start saying no. And as I've been journeying on these 6 months, I've learned the power of the word no, and how important this time is. Just sheltering at home, and it's hard for some people. Anybody who has anxiety, depression, is very social, this is a very hard time for them. And I am really enjoying the power of the no that has been forced upon us right now by the virus. No, you can't go out. No, you can't go to the restaurant. No, you can't leave your house. Well, turns out I kind of like it. I have all of this extra time with my family, and that is a blessing right now amidst a nasty curse. And when I look back, I am going to absolutely treasure all this extra time. Number 5, learning to say yes. This may seem contradictory to the one prior, to number 4, but learning to say yes is different than being the opposite of learning to say no. Stick with me. Learning to say yes, what I want is important. What makes me happy needs to be at the center of my time. And learning to say, yes, I'll play that board game with you. Instead of, yeah, give me 20 minutes to clean the kitchen. Or, yes, give me an hour to clean the house and then we'll play a game. It was a shift. It was, yes, let's play that game. Yes, let's go for that walk. The power of yes in minimalism gets unearthed when you've spent enough time decluttering your house, living with less, changing your mindset, the power of yes then plays a huge role, because it's the power of yes to the things that I want, the things I want to spend my money on, the things I want to spend my time on. Those things then have so much focus, because everything becomes intentional and everything becomes important. And that for me has been life-changing, that I can intentionally say yes to the things that I want to say yes to. The tipping point came for me about 6 weeks ago, roughly. There wasn't a specific moment in time that I can be like, aha, that's when it happened. It was just, my life was different. Everything about my life was intentional, and minimalism was just a natural fit. It felt forced before then. And it felt forced because I was still decluttering massive piles. I still had rooms that I hadn't attended to. And I still do. I absolutely want to go back through again and do another whole house declutter, but now with a different mindset than I had 6 months ago. The tipping point was just this moment in time where I was more comfortable with the title of minimalist. It is a journey that never ends. I still have a ton of work to do, but I feel more naturally fit to minimalism now than I did 6 months ago, when I was massively extreme decluttering and trying to get rid of everything. I was feeling minimalish, where I still had a bunch of junk and I had a nice room that was a minimalist room. Now I feel like I'm more on the other side of the line. If there's spender, minimalish, and then minimalist, I feel like I've crossed over that line from minimalish, and now I'm moving towards minimalist. And if the first set took 6 months, maybe this set will take 6 months. I really don't know how long it's going to take. And what's really comfortable is that it does not matter how long this takes, because this part redefines itself all the time. We're faced with this right now with the coronavirus. Being a minimalist and not keeping an emergency food supply is a problem in this current climate. I had this notch in time where I shifted from being minimalish to more minimalist, but what matters are all the moments that led up to that shift. And every decision I make now is made from an intentional place and purposely living with less. And it's comfortable. It's so much easier than it was 6 months ago. And I'm very, very much enjoying this journey now. It was full of tears and sweat in the first couple of months of just coming to grips with my reality back then. And now just really, really loving our life. Really, really loving how everything is turning out now. So those are my 5 habits. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like. If you have not yet, please subscribe for more videos about living with less. And here's the next video.